Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Can you see me and hear me? It's not really that good. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Elena. Okay. Let me go back up a little. What does 2025 look like for me? It's like you get some kind of wish fulfillment, and then there's some kind of like needing to stop and smell the roses type energy, needing to be present, needing to enjoy it. It almost may be that you get what you want, and then things get kind of thrown off so that you can focus on another area in terms of building the next wish fulfillment. Guidance on how to remove financial abundance, subconscious mental blockage, and a token. Teeth in a jar, which would make me think of like you will be in the position where you can save for retirement, because putting your teeth in the jar is like you're saving them, right? It feels like it has a lot to do with what you're telling yourself is possible. Needing to reframe what you are viewing as an impossibility, because there are solutions, but it's going to require you not talking yourself out of trying them in the first place. Will WF get pregnant in the next 6 months? I would say that's a very strong possibility. Is S happy in the marriage? Is S happy? There's like a lack of being present. It's like I'm in this energy of escapism, and I don't really trust myself, my emotions. I don't trust myself to feel my emotions. I'm needing to bring things back into balance. I do feel like it's not necessarily unhappy with the marriage. It feels more like I'm unhappy with myself, and that's affecting the marriage. How will work situation be with new leader? How will we get along? Like if this was a relationship and I got this, I would say love bombing. Like I love you in the beginning. It turns out to be not all the way the truth, and then things get thrown off balance. It feels like they show up good at first, and then there's some like cracks in the foundation or certain things that you notice that you don't like. Any messages? There's some way that you're kind of unintentionally manipulating yourself here. Like there's something available as the next step that you're trying to convince yourself is not there, because it requires you addressing something that you don't feel ready to face, but you are ready to face it. Darkest Places by Abstract is the song that came on. Will there be a change in my home location in 2025?
Over the years, I realized I didn't always use my voice for good. I've learned since that sometimes words can cut deeper than anything.
I feel like you have options, and if that's what you are trying to get to happen, I feel like it's highly likely that that is what will happen. If you're trying to not get that to happen, it feels like it won't end up being necessary. So it depends on what you're trying. I feel like you're trying to get that to happen, and I feel like there's a high likelihood it will. Message. Ooh. Learning where the blockage is will help you see which action to take. It's almost like if you address which mindset is holding you back, the action that needs to be taken in the opposite direction of that becomes very clear. So figure out where the blockage is coming from, and the solution will be there. It's like you unpack them at the same time. Will my mom be moving back in with me? My mom be moving back in with me. If that's what it takes to put down the burden, it feels like there's some bit of sacrifice here. Like maybe helping her puts you in a position of like, okay, now I have to kind of figure out a new schedule or rework this. So it feels like there's some kind of sacrifice like that. But also whatever is needed for her outweighs that. So it feels like that's more likely. Most likely, yes. Message from Spirit Team. What is this here? Oh, that's the end of here. Okay. It was throwing me off. I'm like, what is on the table? Message from Spirit Team. Interesting. I feel like that kind of goes with what I just did. There's some things that need to be cleared off of the table to make space for something that wants to come in for you. It feels like right now there's some analysis paralysis, or there's some spreading yourself too thin that needs to be addressed energy-wise. Guidance for this week. Things are aligning, and it may feel like you're kind of being held back from something here. Like some kind of change you're waiting for feels to be delayed, but it's because things are being put into the right place. I like have something in my eye. It almost feels like you're having trouble seeing the bigger picture of something, but it will make sense after the delay. Message from my mom. It popped right out. Something needs more of your focus. It's almost like needing to tunnel vision in on something. Almost like a projection from another person that's holding you back from seeing a solution. And if you focus on the issue, you'll be able to more clearly see the solution. Because you'll be able to see how something was a projection from another person that was limiting your view, is how I'd word that. Let me go to this list. New member, thank you. Don't allow loneliness to make you reconnect with toxic people. We don't drink poison just because we're thirsty. I want to say whatever was removed was for good cause. Any messages for Claire? Interesting. Receipts by Connor Price just started playing. You're not going to have the physical proof, but you need to trust your intuition on which kind of action to take. There's a way for you to get what you want and what you need, but it's going to require you taking some kind of bold action that you're going to need to trust your intuition about. Well, I've been able to sell my place and move in the spring with no problems. In the spring. Not without problems. It feels like something is slow to mature. I don't know if that's the selling of the property, or it's like the foundation is there, but something outside of your control makes it take a little bit longer. I wouldn't hold too tight to the spring time frame. I would give it a little wiggle room or prepare for a little wiggle room. Yesterday, heal from narcissism. Today, heal from guilt and shame. Token today, green capacity star. Message from angel. You're learning how to give yourself clarity about the deeper levels that couldn't be understood until you unpacked the levels that were on top of them. So it's almost like an Easter egg in a video game. You're seeing the level that you couldn't have seen unless you had mastered the previous levels. Any more insight into what I'm gaslighting myself about? What would I do if I wasn't gaslighting myself? Fear of being seen. I'm not ready to be seen. I'm not in the best, I'm not ready to be seen in the light that is associated with my goal type of thing. So I'm holding myself back from action because I fear if I take action, I'll get the goal and then it'll make me be seen. What would I do if I wasn't gaslighting myself? Some kind of I'm not in a lack mindset, so I'm able to bring in some kind of abundance because of no longer being in a lack mindset. Because the lack mindset is associated with not wanting to be seen. I keep myself small so I don't become seen. One more and then back to the other list. Is G happy about R being pregnant and having a girl? Is G happy? I mean, not unhappy because the sun's here. I feel like this person may have initially preferred a boy, but that doesn't mean anything about their happiness about it being a girl. But the 8 of Cups is here, so I need to address that there may have been some desire for a boy, but I'm the sun also happy to have a girl. All I want is 7 of Wands, everything to be okay, the baby to be protected. Will 2025 be better for us, health and wealth? One of them, I feel like health isn't going to get worse, but wealth doesn't seem to necessarily be taking that quick of a change here. There's some kind of delay, but there is some kind of like things don't get worse either in terms of health. It almost feels like there may be some kind of wealth connected to health. Like I need to spend money on something health related, but everything ends up okay type of thing. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to the other list after this one. Any help figuring out which mindset blockage is holding me back? Are you the same person I just said about the fear of being seen? Because this is the same thing. If I work hard, I'm trying to not work hard. I'm delaying my progress in terms of success because of fear of being seen. I don't know if this is the same person that I just answered that to, or if this is just a common theme right now, because it feels to be showing up a lot. But this is fear of being seen, or fear of whatever you do being judged. So like if I have a certain business, I'm scared of how people will talk about it or judge it or something like that. It depends on how that resonates for you. Okay, back to the other list. Do I have psychic abilities? I would say pattern recognition is connected to one of your senses. 6 of Wands to me would probably be clairaudience. You can kind of put messages together. Like I notice a pattern and then I ask for a sign, or I notice a pattern. Strength is like I get what I ask for. So like I'm able to notice something and then associate it with a confirmation that I get intuitively, type of thing. So yes. Was Sebastian Rogers' passing connected with crematory? I don't know if I know what that means. Was it connected with crematory? The Fool, a leap forward. Ace of Swords in reverse. I'm not getting a confirmation of what you're meaning when you word it that way. This is there's some relevance here, but it's being misunderstood, if that makes sense. What messages are most relevant for me from spirit at this time? You're being kind of like pushed forward in some regard when it comes to like stepping into your divine authority, standing 10 toes down on something that you want to say, maybe telling your story or putting some idea out there. It's like you're fighting with yourself, but this is like a divine push forward is how I would word it. Is this fuzzy, the camera? Can somebody tell me if that's fuzzy and if I should fix it? My dad died a few years ago. His birthday just passed. Does he have any advice for me? I feel like there's some either conversation or lack thereof that you may be kind of ruminating over, and there's a need to let that go. Or this could also be coming through as a bit of an apology, like I'm sorry I didn't say this, or I'm sorry that this conversation went this way. It's like I want a fresh start. I want to move forward. Kind of feels all right by Wild Rivers. Putting down the burden lets you feel the emotions, which lets you release. And a token. A feather. Number 61. Message from Jerry. Today is his birthday. Tomorrow is mine. Happy birthday. I feel like Jerry would start the message with, I know this is about to sound a little corny, but not all who wander are lost. There's this feeling of like embracing the pause, because the pause is redirection, and the redirection is putting you facing the target. There's a need to not continue to be so hard on yourself about where you are, because the pivot is where you're meant to be. It's Cupid's arrow. Will my baby frogs survive the heater burn? My dog okay after paw infection. Will my baby frog survive the heater burn? I feel like there's something of ongoing concern about the heater burn. Not that they won't survive for a time, but I feel like there's something that ends like struggling to deal with this one issue that came from it is how this feels. Is my dog okay after the paw infection? I feel like you're noticing some kind of limp or some kind of imbalance. And I would say to keep an eye on that, but everything else feels okay. making sure that that is not getting worse, the imbalance or limp. Advice from my guides now that my mom is moving in with me. Don't, how do I word this? Don't give all of your power away to, like, don't leave yourself so depleted and so, like, I guess maybe the word would be micromanaging. Don't try to micromanage yourself into losing all of your energy, because it's going to start to disconnect you from yourself. I don't know the situation, but like almost like try and allow her to maintain as much independence as possible, as to not run yourself too dry. Message from my angels and guides on my growth this past 11 months. You had, excuse me, you had to lose your way to find it. The destination, the journey is the destination. And there's this feeling of like one of your gifts has been a gift to yourself. Like this was you being able to give your gift back to yourself by getting out of your own way. My family and I have been doing our best to honor our mom, Grammy, since she passed. Can she see what we have done? Yeah, look at her. She's got a bird's eye view. She's like up in the window above the city, just sitting there watching. Of course she can. Did you think I left? 8 of Cups in reverse. That would be unfulfilling. Yes, absolutely. Embers in reverse. It's been very hard on someone. I feel like that's probably you, but also another female, and she feels to be most with those individuals. Oh, let's just move. Hold on. Will what I am planning really happen next year? I feel like there's some kind of delay on the finality of it. There's a need to defend. So it feels like there's some kind of issue that arises that causes some kind of delay here. Not that it can't happen, but it may be delayed to later in the year, or it may be delayed outside of the year, depending on what your time frame is. Will the applications my parents are doing be successful? Can these lawyers be trusted? Will they be successful? Yes, and I do feel like they can be trusted. 7 of Swords is reversed. So this is like, I'm not trying to sabotage you. I'm not trying to betray you. You're noticing, or you will be noticing, something that could cause a potential delay. And I almost feel like the advice is to just listen to the lawyers about the delay, even if it's not what you necessarily want to hear. Because I do feel like they have best interest in mind. I'm going to go to this list. Any guidance from Spirit regarding quantum leaping into a higher, more abundant timeline? Token or song? Music. That was direct. And 51. So 49% of something. Music being 51%. So like a combination of listening and quantum leaping into writing. Like I write as I listen, and it connects the flow. A way you haven't tried yet that you can really get into. Music. Not just music. Music isn't the final, but almost like listening to something that it's like a ongoing journal prompt of sorts. Maybe you could create it for yourself and write as you listen to it. Are my nutritional changes now healing for me? Yes, and I feel like things are going to start to speed up. You're taking the right action to make the right changes, and things are going to start to go a little faster. Oh, thank you. I'm pulling these for you. That's funny. You said Merry Christmas and it's a present. Believe you deserve it and the universe will serve it. That's funny. Alignment. Something's coming into alignment for you. Christmas lights, random pictures, and things on shelves have been randomly dropping. Is someone trying to get my attention or tell me something? Yes. When I make you pause, I'm planting a seed. Showing you where change is needed. It's like something in your thoughts or something in what's happening in the moment. It's trying to bring attention to where there's change being resisted. Know what it is? It's when your thoughts are going against themselves. When you're going against yourself in your thoughts, it's like, oh, nope, something's going to happen to jump you out of the moment. Like, you've had enough. Stop that. Bowling ball with number 8 on it. Not bowling. Pool. Two more and then back to the other list. Any messages from my guides? Is Steph a guide for me? She was a local medium that helped me through a very hard time. I would say yes. Someone that was meant to make you realize that you needed to reground and remember your value. So it's like a guide that was meant to remind you that you are also your own guide. Messages from my guides. There's like this need to address how much of your thoughts or of your energy is going out to things that aren't bringing you any kind of good, any kind of satisfaction, any kind of release. It's like instead of putting things down, you're picking more and more and more up, and there's a need to realize that it's causing you to kind of be in this state of apathy where things that used to be enjoyable don't feel enjoyable anymore. There's a need to find something you enjoy doing to break that cycle. Again, go. Is my deceased paternal grandfather Roy one of my spirit guides? Roy, King of Swords. This would be a guide that reminds you it's okay to not always have everything all figured out. I feel like that would be how he would introduce himself as your guide. It's okay to not always have it figured out. That's when you learn. So yes. What can I do to make the meeting with my difficult manager and her manager in January to have it be in my favor? Know your audience and find a way to appease them. Like, I'm going to tell you what I want, but in a way that makes you think that I've reframed it to how you would want to hear it. I feel like the difficulty is like this brattiness. So communicate in a way that would make someone that's bratty feel like if I feel like you had to change your communication style to fit me in a way that makes me feel like I've won, I'll listen to you. Weird energy. Are any of my chakras blocked? So I'm being drawn to the little lock that's right around the solar plexus chakra. And then we have the Hierophant, which would be higher knowledge, crown chakra. It feels like there's this inner child wound or this inner teen wound or this, it could be fear of being seen type wound. It's like you're defending that, which is causing this disconnect in crown chakra. So I would say addressing the solar plexus helps to open up the crown chakra as well. What is happening with the drones and UAPs? I did a reading about this and I said it's like a taking of something I'm not going to give back, whether that's information, whether that's this like, it's like a draining of something, but it's also a testing of resources. What are these people going to do in this scenario? It's like two different wands and swords facing one another. They look similar, but they're different. They're opposites, but similar. It would almost be like, allegedly, if one country wanted to test their own country, so they got another country to do it, is how it feels like. It's like a setup and a draining of something and a testing of something. That's what I'm getting. I keep getting the same message with that too. Hold on a second. I'm going to change this playlist. We used to be message from my spirit guides for my 70th birthday. Happy birthday. Embrace the unexpected burst of creativity. It feels like almost like the blindfold is being taken off to some kind of simple enjoyment that leads to something greater. So I would say the message is to embrace the creativity that seems to come out of nowhere, whether that's a creative solution, whether that's wanting to do something out of the norm. Let yourself do it. It's expandable. The energy is expandable. How can I best handle my work situation? Should I ask to change department or get new tasks? Change department. New tasks. I feel like new tasks first, and if that doesn't make any progress, then the other one, then change department. This would be a delay in something that you've maybe mentally committed to. I feel like you're kind of checked out, like I need to get out of here. See if you can create some kind of change first, and if you can't and you still feel like it's not working, then I would say to change department. But I would say ask for new tasks first. And maybe voice your concerns. Be like, this is what's not working for me. What can we do so that I don't have to do that? They might kind of help you out or respect that. There we go. How will Jan 3rd evaluation go for A? How will the evaluation go? I'm held back in my speech. Maybe it depends on what kind of evaluation. Maybe I feel like I could have said more. Maybe I am a little bit more shy spoken than I normally would. It feels like maybe there's some nerves there. I feel like there's some bit of like I noticed that I'm held back or something's held back. Not that it doesn't go well, but there's that energy too. How is Matt doing in his toxic marriage and how is it affecting the kids? It's like one person's toxic and the other person just ignores it because it's better to ignore it than to deal with it. If I face it, then I have to address it. And if I address it, then my whole life's going to change. When it comes to the kids, I kind of feel like there's this desire to do more, but this like eerie calmness. So I feel like whatever this is, it's not really brought around the kids that much, or if it is, they're not understanding it in the way that it's happening, if that makes sense. Is it right to leave my job now? Guidance from my spirit guides. Is it right to leave my job now? Not unless you have something else completely in place. This is like if I walk away without having something else in place, there may be some kind of delay that makes me wish I would have had my ducks in a row before leaving. And this would be the delay. So I feel like with King of Swords, I feel like you've kind of outgrown something in your current environment, but you're not, all the ducks aren't in a row yet to leave. So if you get the ducks in a row, then yes. But don't step down. You need to be stepping up in terms of like pay or something. Any advice from spirit and a song? Chatter by Connor Price. And it's one of those wind up mouth things. Huh. I don't know this song. I was looking at the lyrics. There's going to be a need for you to not have the last word. Almost like your absence will be felt more if you don't have to try and convince someone who's trying to misunderstand you to understand you. Was Sebastian's body illegally cremated? Was Sebastian's body illegally? I don't think so. I'm at least, I'm not getting a confirmation of it. This Five of Swords kind of gave me pause for a second because of the thing, the cauldron. No, I don't think so. I'm not getting a confirmation of that. Will my chronic uncomfort find relief before the end of 2024? Before the end of 2024? No, not before the end of 2024. It feels like you're taking action to start to go in that direction, and there may be some progress made. You're saying find relief. I feel like you find a way to manage it because you know that relief is coming eventually because of some kind of action you've taken. So by the end of 2024, no, I wouldn't say that. Maybe by like the end of February, it'll start to ease up. Am I moving through a self-abandonment wound at the moment? If so, what's causing my mood? Self-abandonment. Getting clarity on how you've left yourself behind and taken other people's paths instead of your own to avoid being abandoned. I'm moving through a self-abandonment wound at the moment. If so, what's causing my mood? It's almost like your brain is automatically comparing, if I would have known this in the past, I would have made this decision differently. And it's like you're back and forth with that in the current moment. And it's like your brain's playing ping pong with itself. Grounding feels important. Back in the present moment will stop that. Canada's prime minister has been asked to resign. Is this a sign of government collapse or some type of a higher shift in spirit? I would say a higher shift. A chess, not checkers, long game exposure of those who are corrupt and untrustworthy. So it's almost like whatever happens, it's going to end up being ultimately for a higher good because the bad is being exposed. Will anything go wrong with my job this year? Will anything go wrong with my job? It could be like a rumor, or it could be like some kind of disagreement or argument. Whatever it is, it gets solved, but there is something that comes up that causes tension. And I do feel like this is something that you're already kind of like, okay, this is where this could come from if there was tension. It's there. Should I meet A for a catch-up? Should I meet A for a catch-up? Yes, but keep your expectations low about what that means going forward. I feel like maybe this person right now is someone who kind of needs a little bit more space, but would be willing to catch up if it didn't mean too much overwhelm after, if that makes sense. On this list. Any messages from Valerie for the family and a number? From Valerie for the family. Let me get a song. Make sure I'm understanding this. Hold on. No, Love in the Dark by Adele. It feels like someone's having a hard time is what I'm getting. But having trouble reaching out and showing it, or having trouble speaking about it. And it feels like other people are kind of thinking this, but not all the way sure. And I feel like the message is to extend some kind of hand of support here. It feels like the person needs to hear it because they don't know how to open up. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles in reverse. of Wands, 5 of Cups. I've been here before. I feel like it's to avoid a tower. Number. Did I have my... Hold on. I do. Hold on. 20. Had Achilles surgery last March. It's been swollen around that area and hurts the past couple of days. Have I been on it too much and it needs rest, or it's another injury? On it too much and it needs rest. Yes. Another injury. What is that called when you favor the other side of the body? Overcompensating. Okay, so it's almost like if I'm overcompensating by putting my weight on the other side of the body, right? But then now I'm walking different on this. So it's almost like there's a part of it that's kind of getting worn down, is what I'd say, because of the way in which I'm shifting to avoid hurting it worse. So it almost feels like if like a ligament or muscle was like overused or stretched wrong or something. So I don't know if I'd say like injury. It doesn't feel, it feels more like something that you need to get things balanced so that it doesn't continue, almost like if you're walking on the side of your foot, for example. And it's like that part isn't supposed to be walked on, so it's causing an issue type of thing. That's kind of what I'm getting. But I also feel like you haven't on it too much. Christmas message from Sean. Christmas message from Sean. Don't feel like you have to be the one to bring every conversation together. Sometimes allow yourself to receive the conversation instead of being the one that feels like you have to kind of carry every conversation. But it's weird because it's not like you're overburdening the conversation. It's like you take on the responsibility of how the conversation goes. Put that down is the message. What psychic abilities, if any, do I have, and how to understand them more? Channeled writing or Queen of Swords is like clear knowing. It's like, I just know, okay? But to know them more, how can I confirm what I'm knowing? So I know this thing, I know it, I write it down, or I write about it, or whatever it is, and then I watch how it plays out. So you understand them more by seeing them in action and allowing the paths to merge. So I'm receiving downloads and then I'm confirming what I'm receiving. I'm learning my own Morse code this way. I'm learning how my guides communicate with me that way. I'm building the sandcastle cup by cup, right? So like I'm saying, okay, my guides showed me this or said this, and now I jot that down so I can remember, and I look at how that unfolds or how that plays out type of thing. It's just kind of like learning your own, confirming your clear knowing with tangible proof of the knowing. Why do I have dreams where I'm best friends with Taylor Swift? Why do I have dreams where I'm... Interesting. What in her energy could you embody that would allow you to take the action that you've been avoiding, because that action is expandable? So is it her confidence? Is it her mannerisms? Is it her communication or something like that. What is being highlighted to you as something, if I embody this, I'll have the confidence to take that next step forward? It feels like it's for a purpose of action being taken. My subscribers' live questions are predominantly messages from loved ones and guides. How can I take this in a new direction or deepen? I'm feeling a strong pull. How can I take this in a new direction or deepen? Themed readings. Maybe have like, okay, like today we're going to do this spread and it's this question and that question. And then they just put their name in, right? So like today we're going to look at how your future connects to your present, or today we're going to look at how your mind is affecting your heart. Like set up pre-chosen either topics or questions and then have them come in that way. Kind of like you're not really giving them a choice type of thing, but like maybe like have it up on the screen or something like that. Advice for DK about her relationship with CC. Advice for DK about her relationship with CC. I attract, I do not chase. This is an opportunity to grow in. Advice for DK. This is an opportunity for DK to grow in confidence. And if you can't meet my expectations, then I'm pulling back my energy. This person needs to view themselves as the prize, and it feels like they may have the other person up on a bit of a pedestal, which is causing issues. Will I move in 2025? Thank you. Will I move in 2025? I feel like there's some kind of delay here. So I don't know if that means you're trying to do it early and it's going to be later, or if it's delayed out of 2025. But I do feel like there's something that you're like, oh man, like another obstacle. But then you come up with a solution, but it causes a delay. So it could be the end of 2025 or it could be pushed out of 2025. I would say at least a 4-month delay of whatever your current projected end date would be. Am I going to shift out of what feels like a dark night of the soul? Is that what this is? Am I going to shift out of it? Yes. You will get clarity on how to do that. But the only way out is through. There's something that you may be avoiding that you have to sit with. Almost like I'm convincing myself that I'm done addressing that wound, but I'm still not making progress out of the dark night. So maybe I need to go back and address that one wound is how this feels. Forever Young by Bob Dylan. Dark Night of the Soul. It's kind of giving like I feel like I didn't accomplish everything I wanted to accomplish, and I feel like I'm running out of time, and it feels like I'm spiraling. So I need to figure out what I want to accomplish that I have time to accomplish so I can get that sense of fulfillment from that. Yeah, the Chariot in reverse. Going back to this list. Brave by Sarah Bareilles is the song. Will my grandson be okay with court and the outcome with paternity and his rights? I feel like it's going to be a hard battle to fight here. Will my grandson be okay with the court and the outcome with paternity and his rights? It's like I don't get the answers I want and I have to go back and fight to get changes. It feels like playing the long game here is what this is. Will he eventually be okay? Queen of Cups, King of Cups in reverse. It's like someone is working against this and it causes delays of some sort. Not that it can't eventually be okay, but it's like I need to really fight to get it there. Should I be worried about my mom's moodiness? Any message on how to help? I know you probably already know this, but it's not you. I'm mad at myself from at odds with myself, and I'm projecting that. This is my boundary. If you're gonna dance on the boundary line, I'm gonna pull my energy back, and you're not gonna like that too much. But here is my boundary, and my boundary will not move. You can move up close to my boundary, but it's just going to cause me to back away, and I'm not going to let you cross the boundary. Being direct and kind of just a little, this is what I'm going to put up with, and this is what I'm not going to put up with. Christmas message from Spirit. Oh, my light died. Hold on. Interesting. Christmas message from Spirit. My light died. Huh. Oh, that's too bright. Okay. Christmas message from Spirit. So the light went out. Home, you're not expecting connection. There's going to be light shown on something that helps you connect the dots. And this is your Christmas present from someone on the other side. Light shown that helps you connect the dots. Lean on Me by Bill Withers is the song. Someone's helping you to connect the dots. Feels like a long time coming type of thing. Would taking stock photos and videos be a good way for me to make money on the side? With taking stock photos and videos. I feel like yes, yeah. Might not be as much as you want, but it feels like enough to buy you time of some sort, or at least get your foot in the door with something else that could lead to something. I would say yes. But I would not go spend a bunch of money on it. 8 of Wands in reverse. I wouldn't spend a bunch of money on it. If you already have everything, that's different. Here we go. Is there anything else I need to do to connect better? Expression of your blocked inner child. It's like there's part of your inner child that feels like too much of a sore spot or too much of a soft spot. How can you turn that into some kind of art? Whether that's literal or writing or expression or lifestyle change. It's like the soft spot of your inner child is the crack that lets more light come in. Guidance from my spirit guides and a song. House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. What's the first words of that? Ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. Whatever had to be dismantled, it was giving you the choice of what to rebuild. So the dismantling was you taking back your power, not you losing your power. You passed the test of intellect is how I want to word that. How is the relationship between my daughter and her boyfriend? How is the relationship between my daughter? We're trying to make progress. We're not fighting, but things are kind of dull. There's some dullness, but there's some dullness that we're trying to work through. Almost like a dry spot, if that makes sense. Message from my inner child. Message from my inner child. There's a need to get clarity on what's keeping you back from committing to some kind of action that would start to change things in your favor. It almost feels like an example of like change your mind, change your life. There's something that is a self-limiting belief that if you get clarity on why it's there, you find out what action to take to switch things in your favor. So I guess the message would be sit with the discomfort. Don't run from it. I'm going to turn off super chats. Okay. Oh, now this moved me. Why does it do that? Hold on. Let me go back up. Will the tarot practice group I want to start be beneficial to me and others? Yes, I would say just I don't know if you're doing it to make money, but I feel like there's a need to kind of take that part of it slow, or maybe be willing to give discounts if you're going that route just to kind of get things started. But I do feel like you'll be pleasantly surprised with how it unfolds. What do I need to know most right now? There's a past version of you that's trying to get your attention so you can release it. This could be some kind of needing to change your focus, needing to change a mindset, needing to change what you're pouring your energy into. But there's a past version of you that's like, hey, you're not me anymore. You've evolved. It's time to let me go. What are my eldest sister's Jessie's thoughts regarding our relationship right now? I'm waiting till it's the right time to talk about something that we're kind of at odds with, or that I feel like didn't go my way, or I didn't get to express fully. It's like we started addressing this and we haven't. I guess I'd say I'm waiting for the right time to finish addressing something that we started to address so that we can make forward progress, or see if forward progress can be made. Hold on, I have the wrong playlist on. Motto by NF. I don't need no introduction. There may be a conversation that eventually kind of comes out of nowhere. The biggest in names, hire 50 people just to give me advice on the way I should write. Trying to see if there's anyone I didn't get that much. Hold on. Was Russell's death an accident or planned? Accident. Planned. Accident. Plan. What is that called? What of opportunity? Circumstance of opportunity? Victim of circumstance. It doesn't necessarily feel pre-planned, but it feels like someone acted on an, or something happened opportunistically, if that makes sense. What are my husband's feelings about Christmas? What are my husband's feelings about Christmas? I don't want to talk about heavy things. Let's just keep it light and have a good time, is how this feels. And my throat is like itchy as I say that. Let's just be in the moment and not try and talk about heavy subjects. Well, let me go back to these. Excuse me. I'm in bed with the flu, no energy, and feel very low. Message, please. It's kind of giving like detox. Like you're sometimes when we go through like spiritual ascensions, our bodies will kind of shed or detox or go through this like sickness. It feels like that's what's happening. Both of these cards are about healing and release, but they're on the opposite side of the devil. So it's kind of like there's spiritual implications of shedding that are happening physically because you're going through. I feel like it was you that said Dark Night of the Soul, right? It feels like it's correlated, the spiritual and the physical. So I guess I'd say use this time to kind of clear your mind as well and get into almost like see what can come through meditative wise, since you're already kind of in that space. Maybe you'll fall asleep or maybe you'll get some kind of download. Like give yourself the opportunity to see what can come through. Message, song, or token for the weekend. Stand Back Up by Sugarland. I may stumble, yeah, I might fall. Only human, aren't we all? I might lose my way, but hear me when I say I will stand back up. Oh, shut up. That's a tree. Get it? Because trees are rooted and they don't fall. And number 27, which is my birthday. Interesting. Message for the weekend is that you are the tree. The winds may blow. The tension may arise with the 5 of Wands, but it's not going to beat you. 6 of Wands in reverse, Knight of Cups. Don't let what's going on around you. Hold on. What's that quote? Don't let the water from other people's oceans get inside your boat and sink it. Because you're the tree. You'll only get knocked down if you hand someone the chainsaw to do that. So don't let their ocean get in your boat. What insight does spirit have regarding what appears to be monitoring spirits in my life? Is this related to gang stalking? Interesting. A Little More by MGK, and it's the album cover that looks like the Fool card because he's on the edge of the cliff. We want to know what you know and how you know it. Because we want to prepare for what you're going to say. That feels to be the energy behind it. Is it related to gang stalking? Trying to push you off your path. So, I mean, that could very well be that. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Let me put one of these for you. Your emotional intelligence and intuition will offend everyone who can't run game on you. Let it. Feels like part of your Christmas present is this third eye clearing. It's going to depend on how much you continue to trust it by continuing to make decisions to trust yourself. But the third eye, it feels like almost for Christmas, you get this fog ripped off of it as a Christmas present to yourself, from yourself. A message from my dad and a song. Message from my dad and a song.
Starry, starry night.
Hold on. My Wish by Rascal Flatts is the song. And the number 20 may be significant. So I did this this TikTok video earlier that is being referenced right now, and it said this year felt like being awake during surgery. For some reason, that is what just flashed in my mind, that video. It feels like that's the message. This year for you was very hard, and you're not going to have to go into next year expecting the same thing. Like the surgery, the fixing of whatever was going on is coming to completion, and next year you're going to be able to kind of hit the ground running in a new direction. Whatever test this was, you've wrapped it up and you've passed it. And there's a need, and it feels like he's helped you with this specifically. So there's a need to kind of give yourself the credit where it's due and not expect to have to relive the same energy next year. You're going into you controlling the environment instead of the environment having control over you in the way that it did over this past year. Any message from my uncle in spirit whose birthday is today? Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys is the song. My uncle in spirit whose birthday is today. There's some kind of life skill that he's highlighting that you saw in him that would help you get out of a sticky situation. Almost like, here, go ahead, use this and impress yourself. Because you didn't think, you saw something you admired in me. You didn't think that you could use that, but that's why you saw it in me. Almost feels like something like being bold in terms of business or bold in terms of a lifestyle change. Kind of giving like, what would I do? That's what you embody, and then you get out of a sticky situation type thing. Okay, back to this list. No idea where I was. Message from source for all of us present in the live regarding Christmas and New Year's. The energy of this past year was a befriending of shadows. That's why this year has been so difficult or so trying or so long. It's because everyone was befriending the shadows that before maybe they were avoiding. So the Christmas present that's kind of being energetically sent out is a relief of that pressure that we've been feeling when it comes to that topic. So the end is in sight of that chapter of needing to find difficulty in befriending the shadows, because now there is that connection there where we can view them differently. They're not as scary. Is my ex-son-in-law serious with his new girlfriend? Why did he introduce her to the grandkids? Is he serious? It feels like introduced her to the grandkids because she needed that in order to fix a problem. So like maybe she was like, why are you not bringing me around, or something to that effect. It's like, I'm doing it because I feel like I need to, so I don't have to keep explaining myself type thing. He's serious about her for now, but I don't really think he's necessarily thinking long term. It's more of, what do I need to do to make this continue right now? I'm going to stay on for about 15 more minutes and then I have to hop off. What does 2025 look like for me health-wise, financially, and happiness? Feels like almost like, you know, one of those fun mazes that aren't really that fun. It's like mirror maze. It's like you keep thinking that you're going to have the go ahead and you keep being met with some kind of wall of resistance. That doesn't mean that you can't break through it, but it feels like there's some kind of bits of delays. But I also feel like you may kind of anticipate this. I would say not in the clear yet, but you can almost make it into this fun little puzzle. Like, what's out of place and how can I put it back into place? And then I get the reward of the progress that comes from that. Oh, okay. So just for confidence and learning experience. I would say, yeah, then. What was that King of Pentacles in reverse? Oh, building your own confidence. So King of Pentacles in reverse. It will help you to see yourself as capable if there is something else in the future that you do want to build monetary wise. That would be what the King of Pentacles reverse was then. I don't know why I remember that was King of Pentacles in reverse. Is Kelly's huge shift after our theta sessions in part due to my own modality testing we agreed upon? I feel like it's weird to say it this way, but like there was some kind of purposeful increasing in discomfort that opened another level. So like, because I feel comfortable enough to be willing to be vulnerable in a different way, you know, okay, so this is what is being referenced in my brain. Maybe it'd just be easier to explain. You know, like when you're exercising and your body gets used to a certain way of exercising, so you exercise the same muscle differently, and then your body it grows because it needs to adapt to the new way. It's like you trick your body into growth. That's what's being referenced for me. So yes, but like, because it's like you made the brain uncomfortable enough to trick it into growth. Not trick, but like a new way, I guess. Oh, mine's December 27th. That's funny. Any messages for my mom? So I meant to hit next, but I accidentally hit like a specific song. Tell Your Heart to Beat Again by Danny Goki. And the album is Hope in Front of Me. Allow yourself to kind of go into like almost like an emotional hermit mode till the end of the year is kind of what I'm getting. It's like you don't always need to be the one to show up for everyone else at the expense of your own emotional energetic levels. Don't deplete yourself too much and make the end of the year harder for yourself. Allow yourself to pull back when you feel like you need to, and don't guilt yourself for it. Oh, happy birthday. Message for your big 40 tomorrow. Hold on. Want To by Sugarland. Want To by Sugarland. This is the year where you finally figure out a way to trust your intuition enough to put down the burden that was keeping you playing it small. It's like you finally realize a way to have your cake and eat it too, and now it's just trusting yourself to take the action. Possible outcome if the health department was to find out about the state of the hospital's kitchen. Somebody with a connection or money buys time. It's like we avoid this tower, Queen of Pentacles, money, influence, so the wheel doesn't turn. I feel like somebody has the ability to buy time until it can get fixed. It may make progress though. Like now we have to do something about it type of thing. What can I do to calm the friction between my husband and my stepdaughters? Keep them apart for now. There's too much going on. Nobody can hear one another and nobody wants to hear one another. Not you, everybody else involved. And you can't even be the voice of reason because nobody wants to hear that either. I would say right now there's a need to let the tensions cool by keeping everybody apart for a period of time and then maybe readdress in the new year. And if you can't keep them apart, then distract whoever you can from the other person. Inspirational message. The answers are within. Don't doubt your ability to get them out in a comprehensive way. It's almost like you need to come up with a step-by-step plan for something, and if you sit with yourself long enough, the steps will kind of form in front of you and make sense. Christmas message from mom and dad. Ready or Not by Bazanji. And it has one of those bank vaults. You're going to start to put the pieces together of what needs to happen to restore the balance in a way that someone else couldn't give you the answers. It's like almost like answers from them or answers from the divine are going to start to highlight a path to take to restore balance that like Maybe you're waiting for someone else to show you this path, or maybe you're waiting for advice on this path and it's coming from above, not even within, it's coming from above. So balance can be restored. Interesting. Hanukkah candle with number 43. What can I anticipate during my travel over New Year's and a song? I'm Still Standing by Elton John. Interesting, because there was a song that just made me think of some kind of delay. Delay that I overcome and everything ends up okay. Or frustration that I overcome and everything ends up okay. Be flexible and don't get too boggled down on timing. Message from my spirit guides. Message from my spirit guides. Whatever is coming to the surface, it's so you can release it. It's not a punishment. It's almost like the shadow's less scary when you face it type of thing. And that frees you to say, okay, I'm not so scared of this creeping up on me. Now I can take action forward. It's coming up so it can be released. Oh no, I just messed this up. Does my mom have a message for my stepdad? He's taking her sudden passing extremely hard. All of us are. He's got to find something to do to like distract himself, to stimulate himself, to get him out of his mind. It's like you need to travel away from the mental prison to give yourself a break. Find something to read, to learn, to do. As long as you're allowing yourself to be trapped in here, you're going to continue to feel the way you feel when you're trapped in there. There's a need to find something that he enjoys or at least can tolerate doing to get himself temporarily giving himself brain breaks. You owe it to yourself. You deserve it to do that. I'm going to do about 2 to 3 more and then I'm going to hop off. Message from my higher self regarding my blocked solar plexus. There's a need to forgive yourself for where you feel like you should be right now that you're not, or what you should be having, experiencing that you're not. Power Over Me by Dermont Kennedy. It feels like this wound has had power over you for a really long time, and that is why certain things have not happened yet, because this wound needed to be addressed. And if you would have been distracted by other things, you would have never seen the wound because it feels to have been very buried. So there's a need to kind of forgive yourself because everything's unfolding like it needs to so that what was buried can be addressed. Christmas message. There's a need to kind of let yourself show up, I feel like this time of the year you're over analyzing everyone's interactions, making sure everything's going okay, and you're kind of taking the weight of that on yourself. There's a need to allow people to just, if they're going to fall on their face, let them fall on their face in a conversation. It's like almost like micromanaging so that you can keep the peace, but it's putting too much of a burden on you privately. So there's a need to kind of focus on just what you're doing and not everyone else, as to relieve that burden, the weight that you put on your own shoulders. New member, thank you. Pull one of these for you. Forgive yourself for the relationships and friendships that you settled for when you weren't in your power. And be mindful with internal dialogue right now. There's a need to just be nice to yourself like you are to everyone else. You find it much easier to be nice to everyone else than you do to yourself. There's a need to give yourself that same grace. All right, everyone. Last one, and then I'm hopping off. Will I have another back surgery next year? Will I have another back surgery next year? I feel like there's something else that they're going to be able to try first, and it may be that doesn't happen next year because of whatever else is in place. But I feel like it's almost like you're pleasantly surprised with something else that they're willing to try first before needing to go to that step. Or it could be a less invasive, like maybe before you kind of got cut open, and this time it's like I don't know what that is, like a scopy type thing. Either something less invasive, or we try something else first and you're pleasantly surprised with that. All right, everyone, I have to hop off. Hold on, let me see. I think I'm going to do a live on Monday, the 23rd. Do I have something that day? I'll schedule it for sure later, but I'm going to try and do one the 23rd. Because Tuesday's Christmas Eve, Wednesday's Christmas. Either then or Thursday, because Friday's my birthday. Yeah. Okay. Talk to you all soon. Thank you for being here, and thank you to all my mods. Mods, if you haven't put in your question yet, please do so soon. I'm going to probably be doing them Monday and Tuesday. Is that it? I think that's it. The blueprint, I'm almost ready to put that back out again. That should be out next week. I'm just waiting for my proof copies to get here. Hold on. I'm going to answer this one because you just joined. Husband offered job in WI, same company in Ill, where we live. Would this be a good move for us, or would this backfire? Would this be a good move for us? I feel like there's something you're not seeing about it that needs to be considered. It's almost like if there's something that needs to be put into the contract before going so that it doesn't backfire. There's a need to kind of look at everything more thoroughly, is what I'd say. Not that it will necessarily backfire, but there's a way to avoid a potential backfire, if that makes sense. All right, everyone, I will talk to you all soon. Thank you for being here.